Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the August 12th meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Newcastle. The board has been in executive session, and now I'd like to ask for a motion to open the work session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna start off our work session with the topic of the town's liability insurance renewal. Rob, do you want to get us started?
I will. So this is an annual tradition about this time of year. Our coverage ends on the 30th? 31st of August. So we're left in this situation every year. The current insurer, Munich, the prior quote or the prior coverage for the 24-25 year was 1.206 million. We had a renewal offer from them. They give us a kind of a tentative look at what's coming. We heard about this a couple months ago. Their renewal came in at 1.669, over $450,000 higher than our prior quote. So RJ got to work. The board's familiar with the fact that the town has had difficulty getting multiple insurers to quote. In the past, how many quoted this year total? Or declined to quote, you reached out to?
Declined 9.
Yeah, so we had 9 declines.
Is that typical or? Well, is that typical? 'Cause that seems high.
It is high. It's based on, the first thing we looked at was the claims information. I don't know if you want me to come up or talk.
I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
No,
What would you like to come up, RJ?
sure, very good.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Not that tall. To answer your question, when we do market it, we go to every insurance company, even if ones we think may not quote it, because we could be surprised. So that's pretty much the marketplace. So to answer your question, 9 is high. Typically, if we have an account that has very little claims, municipality, we'll go to 3 and 4, and we'll know we'll get 3 or 4 quotes.
And I think we have the Upper Minkle Dam situation too that also scares off a lot of insurers. And so when we got this high renewal, which, you know, we talked about last year at this time, the prior renewal is 40% over the year before. This is around 40% over last year. So, you know, I think RJ mentioned at the time they're looking to make their money back on us because they spent over the last couple of years. So RJ went out there and beat the bushes and got a really good quote. First he reached out to Travelers, who has declined to quote for several years, and we got them to look at it, but they were going to, I think, reduce the umbrella coverage that we had, and it wasn't gonna be an apples to apples quote. They were gonna kind of remove some of the coverages. So what RJ did find was Houston Casualty Company that came in $1,159,305. This provides the same umbrella coverage of $10 million. I mentioned to the board in executive session, the one change to this policy is a change in deductible from $25,000 to $50,000 for non-automobile claims. So we've taken a look at the history over the last few years, and we don't really have many claims that fall into that window, the 25 to 50 that this, you know, would affect. Is that accurate?
Yeah, the proposal, each of the insurance companies that were interested, were gonna quote $50,000 to $500,000 deductible. So the $50,000 deductible that the Travelers quote, that Travelers was gonna quote, and also the current insurance company was gonna quote $50,000, or did quote $50,000 deductible. And also this company that we got a great quote from, Houston Casualty, quoted $50,000 deductible. The deductibles over the time for the municipalities, the town size, have been going up. That's just what the industry's been seeing.
So that is the information that we have, so we're asking the board to approve that tonight to renew with Houston Casualty Company.
So considering that we had 9 of them decline, I think that we're now saving almost $50,000 from last year.
Yep.
And we're saving $500,000 from the proposal for this year.
And
So this is really truly significant.
yeah, and I'll point out another thing too that's not part of this quote because we're not paying it this year. So depending on the insurer that we're with and how FOA gets compensated, sometimes we pay FOA a fee for their services. That's included in this quote, so that's $49,000 that we paid last year that we're not paying. So you're probably about $100,000
Were
savings.
we gonna ask now about the tail insurance?
Yeah.
Mike was
Yeah,
gonna,
I'm sorry.
unless you wanna,
No, go ahead.
we
Yeah.
can follow through.
Yeah, so what the original policy that's in existence now, is it a claims made policy?
Well, it's a package policy that has different coverages. So there's
Okay.
about 8, 9 coverages, property, general liability, automobile.
Okay.
Of those coverages, 2 of them are claims made,
Wh-
which is public officials and employment practices.
Okay,
So-
and we're replacing the whole package?
Correct.
Yes.
All the coverages,
Public officials, and what was the other one?
employment practices, insurance, if a town employee sues the town for
Right.
discrimination.
So what we were thinking about is some form of tail coverage for the claims made
Yeah.
policies, and how that would work.
Yeah, I'm not sure we need to buy tail coverage, and here's why is the current policy has the claims made coverage for both the public officials' employment practices. It's the same on this Houston casualty quote. The current policy for those 2 coverages has a retroactive date, I'll describe that in a second, of 1989.
Okay,
That's the current policy. The new policy will have the same 1989 date. And what that means is they will cover, the current insurance company and the new insurance company will cover any claim that is made to the town that you don't know about yet, as long as the incident happened after 1989. They'll cover it.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, and that would be the same, there would be no benefit, no earlier date from
1989?
yeah, no, I'm just saying, even under the new policy, the coverage date is the same,
Correct. The 1989 retroactive date is the same on the current policy as the new one. All the other coverages the town has in that package policy, all occurrence, like property insurance, it's when the occurrence happened.
That's the case, okay.
Automobile,
That's-
general liability, things like that.
And those retroactive dates apply to both policies, or it's just
Both coverages, yes,
both coverages that are claims made?
correct,
Okay,
correct.
alright,
It's the same as this we have now.
that's good, okay, thanks.
Okay, do you wanna follow through?
Just one other question, does that mean, what about like a slip and fall policy, like
Occurrence, it's when the occurrence happened.
I get that, but you're talking about against employees, against what you're sharing does not involve a slip and fall. So if someone slipped and fall 2 years ago.
That's not a claims made, that's not.
That's an occurrence.
That's an occurrance policy,
Yeah.
so we'd be covered.
Yeah, so to give you an example, if the new policy goes into effect and someone comes out of the blue and says, oh, I tripped, I'm not an employee, I tripped and fell in January of last year's policy is covering it. Because the occurrence happened, slip and fall,
Gotcha,
on their
okay.
watch.
Okay, understood, thank you.
RJ, you did a great job.
Thank you,
We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
As usual, saved
you.
us a lot of money and you found us a great policy.
thank you very
We
much,
appreciate your work, thank you.
Thank you, RJ.
thank you.
Alright,
If I could add one thing, all this couldn't have been done without Rob's help and Rob's team help. The new insurance company asked a ton of questions, wanted pictures, it had to be done in a short time, there was lengthy applications, Rob got a lot of it done. The ones he some of it, he got to the department managers, got it back very quickly. So he made, and his staff made our job really easy, so thank you.
well, thank you, Rob,
And
as
RJ
usual.
climbed over the dam. I think he brought his tree saw out
did.
to
Did
Millwood
you?
Park.
Oh, yeah.
No exaggeration.
Wait, are you serious?
No, I did
No.
not,
You did bring the saw out to Millwood Park.
You went to the dam?
no, I didn't, it was a long, it was not a chainsaw, it was a long,
No.
yes.
This gets better
Like
by
a
the
saw, like
minute.
one, like Rob was on the other side, you're on
It
one
was-
side, like old school.
Right, me and I, we're together.
You know, I thought the insurance liability, people are gonna be bored listening to this, but I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I have stories. Thank you.
Wow,
Thank
okay, thank you for going over and beyond, Rob, thank you as usual and the staff too for always, going over and beyond. Okay, so Rob, would you like to go over the administrative items for today?
Sure, we have a whole host of administrative items today. We have 3 different retroactive payment of claims, July 18th, July 25th, and August 1st. We have the adoption of monthly reports and minutes from July of 2025. We have the authorization to extend the DPW 2021 municipal solid waste and recycling services with Sanipro. 2026 will be our final year under this contract, so we will have to renegotiate that next year. We have the authorization to hire an appraiser for a tax certiorari on Grace Lane. The cost of that appraisal is $6,000. If that ends up going to trial and they need a trial-ready appraisal, an additional $3,000 would be the cost. We have the authorization to attend the fall conference for Josh, for our assessor. That's fully covered, that's reimbursed by the state for his attendance there. We have an authorization to purchase the variable frequency drive for pump number 5 at the Millwood Water Treatment Plant. The amount is $49,950. In this instance, we were invoking an emergency clause here so that we can go and replace this right away. This is the only large flow pump that we have at the treatment plant, and that would be difficult for us if this fails, so we don't have the time to go out to a full bid process. So Bart did get a couple different quotes and this was the best of them.
Okay.
We have the authorization to utilize services from the OGS mini bid process to purchase a EV Chevy Blazer. The amount of $40,087. That will be used by the development department. Their fleet of vehicles is aging and we needed to add a current vehicle to that fleet. So we're adding a EV Blazer. We have the authorization to share the services of Omnia Partners bids for the purchase of the VRV 5T system for the Art Center. That's a heat pump to do the heating and cooling at the Art Center.
Oh, that's great. Will that cover the entire art center?
Yes.
Or will there be traditional heat in addition?
There's typically a backup available, but this will provide the
cover
majority,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
59,500 is the total. We are looking for authorization to reject all the bids and to rebid the DPW purchase of masonry repair for the Parks and Recycling Garage. When the bids came in, it was clear that not all of the bidders understood the project. They were not comparing apples to apples, so we felt like it was better to just reject all bids and to go out and rebid this project. We have the authorization to approve change order number 1 for the Chapac parking lot and drainage improvement project. This is for the pathway, I think that's around the outer edge of the building that was designed. We had some issues with this and we ended up the original engineer that performed the work on the handicap parking lot. They were substandard in preparing the plans for this, so Miguel actually did the plans in-house for this, and the survey work for $2,275 is to set the project for the construction for it. We have authorization to approve change order number 1 for the Chapac solar installation project, $21,450. So we're adding critter guards and snow guards to the roof at the Chapac.
Guards, okay.
Critter guards. So one of the things, the snow guards, they realized that the way the panels were sitting, that if snow built up, it could actually fall on somebody, and ice and snow could fall on somebody around the building. So 21,000, and I think the project that's still covered by the NYSERDA funds for that project.
What's the completion estimated?
Not till the middle of September now, so the apparently they're doing a good job, the installation, but they haven't been there 5 days a week, and in fact Walter's out there every day checking on them. They've been sporadic the last couple of weeks. The first 2 weeks they were out there every day.
And that's unexpected, right? They're supposed to be out there every day?
We believed that they were gonna be out there every day, yes.
Has anyone spoken to them to
We
find
have.
out?
They say their guys are committed and they've got other projects and
That won't interfere with the use of Chapac, will it?
no, so that's the one thing that Walter, we've been checking the schedule when they're there and making sure that they have been avoiding any of the events that are going on there.
Good.
So, yeah. Let's see, we have authorization for change order number 1 and number 2 to Shether Road, 83,700 and 9,900. These were some changes that occurred in the field. I think that number still falls within our contingency for that project. That project's completed, we're looking to close it out now, and these are change orders that were required to do that. We have an authorization to attend conference for the police, officers Mirabello and Miller. This is a juvenile, handling juveniles and SRO training. We have an authorization to attend the conference for the court clerks. Both of them will be going. Diane is our senior court clerk. Andrea's been with us about a year. We felt it was important to send both of them to the court. So the court will close for 2 days, I believe, in September. This is with the judge's approval and his recommendation. The total amount is $2,278 for that. We have the authorization to approve the banner request for the Historical Society. That's their holiday train show. We have the authorization to approve mutual aid and rapid response IMA with the police. That just dictates how the local municipalities handle the mutual aid with each other. We have the authorization to approve the contract renewal for Logically, that's our IT vendor. We have an authorization to solicit bids for the 25 and 26 after-school transportation services for Parks and Recreation. We have the authorization to set a public hearing on the extension of the moratorium on the battery energy storage system and commercial solar. We plan to set that for September 9th. We have a resolution in support of the WIIA and IMG grant application. That is for the trenchless water main that goes underneath the MTA and the Sawmill River Parkway. And Mike, I had authorization to approve the advance payment on Joan Corwin Way. Did you have a resolution or wording that you were gonna give to Lauren? I know
Yes.
we talked with Lino about that last week.
I did, yes, I did. I have the, let me find the wording.
Okay, so we're gonna make that payment, which was the offer, I believe, of 1.205 million. That's for the Joan Corwin Way property that we've negotiated. So as part of the eminent domain proceeding, the property owner has accepted the eminent domain, but they're disputing the total cost or the value of the property. So the way that works, as Lino's explained to us, is that we need to make that payment, the 1.205, which is what we value the property at. We need to pay that now, and the ultimate value of that will be disputed down the road. But they've acknowledged the eminent domain, and once we make that payment, Mike, the process starts where we'll be able to take possession of that property, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah. So yeah, we'd be able to file the map and we would own it at that point, and then the rest would just be the negotiation of the price. So I mean, so the way we need to structure that resolution is that the board is authorizing the administrator to contract with the landowner for the acquisition at a cost not to exceed, and that was the part that I don't know if we finalized, Rob, the maximum.
Okay, so we would have to confirm that with Lino, but I believe the offer we had been working with, and this has been consistent over the last couple of years, was 1,205,000, but
Okay.
we'll confirm that exact amount with Lino.
Okay, and that authorization would be subject to an agreement acceptable to town council. Yeah, and that's it, that's the whole resolution.
And once the check is handed over, the agreement is signed, how long until we take possession?
Do you know that, Mike?
I'm sorry, what's
How long until we can take possession of the property once we hand over the check?
Once we hand over the check, it's really the thing that triggers possession is the recording of the acquisition map, which can happen, while that's all pending, actually, while the contract is being finalized.
Okay,
So Lino,
So-
your firm files that, Lino, or?
Yes.
Okay,
so we're authorizing the advance payment
yes,
pending the pending approval of the contract or drawing up of the contract.
Yeah, subject to an agreement acceptable to town council.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a sense of exactly where we are. Are we close to an agreement?
we are, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
You don't anticipate any more negotiation?
no,
I mean, I don't wanna get into it,
so they've
but-
accepted, right, so
But they're
they have
protesting the
accepted
dollar.
this. What's that?
But they're protesting the dollar amount.
They are, so there were three outcomes that could have happened, they could have rejected it outright and we would have just proceeded with eminent domain. They could accept our offer, or they could accept the eminent domain was going through, but protest the valuation, and that's what they've done.
So I guess what I'm getting at is can we take possession of the property and start operating on
Yes.
it while we're still negotiating the value?
Oh, yes, absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
So
part
that's
of,
the third option and
Right.
Yes.
They've consented to the eminent domain, the taking,
right,
and then we can, yeah, then.
so they're gonna vacate the property, they're,
Right.
yeah, that's.
And then while the finalization of the payment is pending, yeah, no, the acquisition map will be filed, you know, notwithstanding the fact that those are ongoing.
okay, and is the dollar amount the only part of that agreement that's left to be determined?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
because it's really not, it's not an arm's length.
yeah, and so we're comfortable, we've had, this process has gone on several years, we've had, I think, 4 different appraisals now. So we're comfortable with the valuation that we've given there, it's been consistent over the last couple of appraisals that we've had, so
So do you think that our DPW equipment, all that precious, very expensive equipment could be housed by this
so
next winter?
I doubt that because there needs to be some improvements to the building. They do need to pour a concrete floor in there, so I can't say how quickly that will happen, but I know Bart's excited to get going on the improvements and
Okay. Alright, well, I guess that's the best we can
yes,
go for now.
definitely some movement on this finally.
Okay, thank you. I do have a question about, because we've been asked about the duck pond, where are we with that? I know that we were going out to bid.
Yeah.
A second time.
We're still, so we've not been happy with Tectonic. So they've got 2 projects that have been kind of slow to respond to, and this is one. So they prepared the revised bid specs, they submitted them to Jeff, he reviewed them, he gave his comments back to them. We're now awaiting their final specs. So Jeff is away this week, so I don't have an update on when he expects that or if he may have received it in the interim.
How long ago did they have it? Got it?
It's been this summer that they got it back to us, so within the last couple weeks.
Okay, I know the neighbors are, they're
The
very
project,
anxious to have their bridge back, which I totally understand.
I agree,
And we're doing our best to get this done. Sometimes, you don't get responsive bids and that's what happened the first time and you cannot help that, it happens. So we're clarifying it to hopefully avoid the same thing happening again, but
yeah,
Yeah.
and Jeff, I will say, has been pretty proactive as
Mhm.
to pushing the engineering firm to move this forward.
okay, so we
So-
just need their final
Yeah.
Feedback from this
And then
latest.
we should be able to go out to bid,
Okay, alright. I mean, I just want people to know that we are
yes,
moving along.
yeah, we definitely didn't, it's not forgotten.
Right. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's it for the work session? Right?
Yep,
That's it?
that's it, yep.
Okay, so may I have a motion to adjourn the work session and enter into the town board meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any announcements, Rob?
I don't have any announcements, no.
Okay. It's gonna be a very short and sweet meeting. My supervisor's report is I will hold that until the newsletter for this week. Anything to report, any
I do, I have a couple of things for the
Madam Chair.
administrator's report, just to update the board and the public. So wanna update everybody on what's going on with the award of the contract for the design and inspection of the chap line. So we have we're in the middle of that process. We received 4 responses to the RFQ that we issued. Our committee reviewed each response and they scored them in 6 different categories. We ended up taking the top 2 scoring firms and we interviewed them. We had a personal interview with them. We ended up with a top choice. We actually just received the contract today, which wasn't in time to review it or approve it for this meeting. So we had discussed another date. Did we confirm?
Right, I had looked forward to discussing it at length at this meeting,
Yep.
but you know, we wanted to be very thorough and give them the chance to present a complete picture
Yep.
of their services. So we will do that. I would like to add a meeting, which would be on the 26th.
Okay.
So that we can approve that contract because we'd like to get going on the
Yes.
project. I know that there would be some time constraints regarding approvals, and so we don't wanna be caught sort of flat-footed and have to wait
Yep.
a whole year for certain cycles to go through. So hopefully we can get 3 members of the board together.
I'll be available, Chris, and
So that is not a scheduled meeting, so we'll just handle that item. It'll be very short, and whatever other business of the town board
Yeah, there
needs to be approved.
may put on some admin items, but we probably wouldn't have any other
Right.
discussion items at that meeting.
Okay,
do we plan it at 5:30?
so I don't know if we would have an exec, but we would, let's say 5:30 in case there is something to be
Yeah,
discussed.
I mean, staff currently believes there's no meeting between now and September 9th, so I don't know that they really have any business they're looking to transact. It's not to say something couldn't come up, but I think we could probably say
Right, well,
5:30.
since we usually gather at 5:30, let's make it at 5:30 and it could be very, early night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Just a couple other
So
items.
we need to put out notice for
Yes.
that meeting.
Yeah.
Right,
Lauren, can you make sure?
Yeah, we
Kristen?
noticed it.
thank you.
Just wanted to update everyone on the Gedney Park pond treatment. So the contractor Little Bear was out there to apply the second treatment on last Tuesday. The pond, Dennis has been out there and Ike's been out there. Pond is showing some pretty significant improvement at this point.
It looks good.
So they're uncertain whether there'll need to be another treatment, so they're going to monitor that and make that determination over the next couple weeks. And we're preparing for the in the late fall where we do the hydro raking and pull that material out of the pond. Couple things that just came in today, so Seven Bridges road paving, so actually one of our residents let us know, we hadn't heard from Westchester County. They were installing some curbing over the last couple weeks on Seven Bridges Road, and we reached out to the county DOT and they let us know it's actually part of a bigger project. So we found out today the curbing has been completed. They then expect to begin milling and paving on August 21st. They plan to continue that through August 26th. During that work, one lane will remain open during the project, and Newcastle Police will be on site for traffic control. And once the paving is complete, they'll begin to install new guide rail too. Another project around town, not town project, but outside, Con Edison is doing some work, or will begin doing some work tomorrow on 117 near the Whippoorwill area. Work is expected to begin tomorrow, the 13th, and to continue through August 29th. They also plan to keep one lane open during this project, and they will also be using Newcastle Police to provide traffic control.
Do you know what they're doing?
We believe gas line. That's what Bart said today.
It's a great
Okay,
level of
wow.
communication.
That's a crazy, I mean, that is a significant project for them not to tell us.
Yeah, and in fact, that I got from the lieutenant because they requested police officers there.
Okay, and that's a state,
That Con Ed, I mean, that's
I
a
mean,
state
Con Ed,
road.
yeah.
Remind me, they pay our overtime?
Yes.
I'm just thinking, I mean, these are two significant projects, different agencies that have not informed. I guess this must be typical, but is there a way to contact them and encourage better communication?
We have an annual meeting with Con Ed. It's surprising, they typically give us a heads up when they're working in town. I think last year, the year before, they were out for the months of like July and August out on Campfire and Hardscrabble doing a lot of work. We have plenty of advance notice for that. I'm not quite sure we don't, just literally came across it, I don't know, what, about 3 o'clock this afternoon or so.
Right.
And we looked at the date, so you're starting tomorrow?
Okay, so you'll put all this in the administrative
this'll
report
go-
so people can
Yep.
read the newsletter and be aware.
Yep, after this meeting, I'll forward this little write-up that I have to
Thank you,
Carrie to
okay.
include in the newsletter.
Great, okay.
That's all I have for that.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Okay, now we're up to public comment and new business. Anyone with a public comment, please come up to the microphone, identify yourself and where you live.
Laura Lenehan, longtime Newcastle resident. I'm speaking this evening concerning the use by the town of Newcastle of secondary generation anticoagulant rodenticides, SGARs, which I hope will be discontinued. Our magnificent raptors, owls, hawks, and eagles are rodent predators. They are a natural balance for rat populations. But eating rats can kill these raptors if the rats have eaten second generation anticoagulant rat poisons from bait boxes. These rodenticides were banned from retail sale by the federal government in 2015 due to dangers posed to children, pets, and wildlife, but they remain legal and widely used by commercial pest control companies in Westchester County and elsewhere, including on properties owned by the town of Newcastle. These rodenticides cause internal bleeding. Raptors that eat these poisoned rodents can also experience internal bleeding, causing death. A national study of 303 dead bald eagles found that 82% had been exposed to rodenticides. And a study at a Massachusetts wildlife clinic found that 100% of red-tailed hawks tested there had these rodenticides in their bodies. I did a small survey in Newcastle of public spaces and exteriors of public buildings, the library, the high school, parking lots behind commercial buildings, the recycling center, and these bait traps were easily found. For example, I saw 5 just walking the perimeter of the high school building, 3 at the library, 7 in public, meaning town, parking lots, and at the recycling center. These locations, even those at large trash receptacles, did not have trash on the ground that would attract rodents. For example, for those of you who drop off your food scraps, you know that the area around the food scrap bins is pristine. You don't see anything on the ground. It's possible to control rodent populations without the use of these second generation anticoagulant rodenticides. Briefly, keep areas free of trash. Close off access holes to buildings. Use snap traps or carbon dioxide traps. Parenthetically, glue traps, which are used by the town, are inhumane, as they do not cause sudden death of the rodent.
What's a carbon dioxide trap?
I don't know the details of that, but the animal enters the trap and carbon dioxide is released, and it must be sealed somehow so that the carbon dioxide replaces the oxygen. How did that sound?
Sounded professional.
You can also use rodent contraceptives. And finally, you can put up raptor boxes where they can nest and hunt rodents to feed their young. A single family of barn owls can eat 1,000 to 3,000 rodents a year. I've been in contact with Mr. Bart Carey, the Commissioner of Public Works, about the town's efforts to control rodents, in particular the use of these rodenticides. And he's been most informative, but we haven't discussed discontinuation. I'm working with the Advocacy Committee of the Sawmill River Audubon to get out the word to Westchester towns and our state representatives about the hazards of these rodenticides. I hope that our town will be a leader by discontinuing the use of these second generation anticoagulant rodenticides. They are classified as pesticides, which under state law the town is authorized to regulate. So I'm requesting authorization to work with Mr. Carey on efforts to eliminate the use of these rodenticides. I'm sure that the Sawmill River Audubon will want to participate, and perhaps the Newcastle Conservation Board as well.
Thank you very much, Laura. I care very much about these birds myself personally, and I would like to see what else we can do, you know, to ensure that we have effective but better treatments. I don't think you need our authorization. We're not going to deputize private residents to work with our staff, but Bart is certainly free to gather information and you can give it to him. All I can say is that we will definitely look into this. I'm curious, you entered school district property and went around the high school?
I did it on a Sunday when people
I
were
suppose that's allowed, yeah.
people were on the playing fields and things like that. I thought it might attract attention. I drove up to the school and I just walked around the perimeter.
Right.
And I was prepared to speak if a member of security or the police force came and asked me what I was doing there. I mean, there are a lot of people who go into school property
Right.
for a variety
Now school property is
of
not our,
reasons.
that's not
I
part
know
of our
that in
jurisdiction,
the library is not as well.
It's not either, right?
It's just an example of how
CCSD property,
widespread the use is.
Yeah,
I welcome that information and anything educational on this topic. So thank you very much for taking the time to share this with us.
A couple of comments. I know I don't really need official authorization, but I'd like to be able to say to Mr. Carey that I've discussed this with the board and that you know about it and that you
yeah, I will talk to him as well. and-
proceeding.
Yeah,
The other thing is that he told me that at the Performing Arts Center, they are going to put out what are called monitoring traps. So these don't contain rodenticide. So they're able to estimate how much activity there is. But there are three companies that the town contracts to do a variety of types of pest control, I guess. And one of the companies I asked for reports and he gave me the reports. One was very, very detailed. Every single site, what percent of the rodenticide had been consumed, so sort of what sort of activity they were seeing. But that doesn't mean you couldn't use other mechanisms for control, but the report also made recommendations like you have areas where you need to block off access to buildings and things like that. And I did ask him, because the areas are so pristine that I looked at, I'll give you one exception which is not on town property. I said, do you do it just in case, or do you do it because there's actually evidence of rodent activity? And he said it's based on evidence of rodent activity. I'm gonna forget what the other comment was that I wanted to make about this, but in any case, it would be a staged thing. The town could discontinue, but then it would have to be up to individual businesses and the library and the school. The state of Massachusetts has just passed a statewide ban. They have lots of Audubon societies, very active, and just within the past month that occurred. And there is legislation before the New York State Senate and is it called the Assembly?
yes, yes.
Okay. And the Environmental Law Center at Pace is working on the wording. They're not satisfied that this is strong enough legislation. So it's possible that it will your potential action would be preempted if the state passed this, but you know better than I that it's a process to get the state legislature to pass something and then the governor to sign it, so.
Okay, thank you for bringing this to our
Thank you
attention.
very much.
Rob, we will look into it?
So I'll note, and Bart has shared some of the information and copied, I'm not sure copied, but he
Yeah,
shared,
yeah.
your correspondence with him and some of his responses. So I do know the bait, the one company that provides a good amount of information on their reports, you do see how much bait they're leaving, which is indicative that there are, rodents eating the bait, so there's a need. So Bart mentioned that they're starting, as you mentioned, the non-toxic bait box that they're gonna attempt to use at the Chat Pack, and they're gonna kind of monitor that. And if they see that they have good results with that, Bart said he's open to expanding that program. In his opinion, we're not ready yet to totally eliminate rodenticides, but he does say that they're working towards reducing them for sure.
Okay, thank you.
I dressed for the occasion.
Yes, I know,
Yes,
I
for
can see
sure.
that and I like the shirt and
The turnaround self.
just let us know where you got it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
My name is Arjun Pistato, live at 2 Danny Lane in Chappaqua. I'm a volunteer at the Take It or Leave It shop, and I wanna sincerely thank the board for continuing to support the Take It or Leave It. I like to call it the happiest place in Chappaqua. The people who are dropping off their lightly used goods is ecstatic to get it out of the house. And then those people who are attending to shop, as it were, everything is free, they're ecstatic to get items at no cost. So I greatly appreciate, on behalf of the Take It or Leave It, very quick story. Maybe 3 weeks ago, it was on a Saturday, I was at Take It or Leave It, and I turned around, I was working, and there Jill Shapiro was, which she's not a regular attendee, and Jay was there, was very nice, said hello. They left, maybe an hour later, I was working, turned around, and Rob Greenstein was there. So at like 9:40 in the morning, I text Rob, I said, what is it? Is it old timers day here at Take It or Leave It? So he laughed, so but thank you again for
Did
the
anyone take them or someone leaving them?
Someone, he beat me to it.
It's funny because Jill was there to leave off Jay.
Oh.
Was this recorded? Sorry.
And maybe Rob was picking him up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they played tennis together
They did.
actually, so
That's true.
maybe there was a drop off and pick up there.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, RJ, it's a great service, we all really appreciate all the volunteers, because it's a volunteer effort, and it's great to know of the really happy places in town, so that's one of them, and thank you so much.
A brief other comment, Laura
Yeah.
Lenahan, longtime resident. The Sawmill River Audubon is sponsoring an evening event on October 9th at the library about this topic, the
okay.
rodenticide, so.
Okay,
October
great,
9th.
thank you. October 9th. Is there anyone online for public comment? Okay, no one is online, so we'll close the public comment period. And we're up to our consent agenda. Had we decided that we can skip going over all the items of the consent agenda because we just did it at the work session? Although we are at a different point of the meeting, but I think we did get the okay from Lino the last time, so we can spare ourselves doing the big repeat.
That was part of the notice too, right?
Yeah.
The only
Anything that,
Yeah, the
You
only
wanna
thing
add?
we note, it was discussed on the administrative items but not listed on the consent agenda, was the banner request for Historical Society. So we'd like to add that to the consent agenda.
Just to the resolution, so.
Alright, so then I move to adopt items 1 through 21 as listed on the consent agenda as well as the banner request for the Historical Society.
Second,
all in favor?
aye.
Aye. I move to I move to retroactively approve payment of claims in the amount of $611,365.84 listed on the summary AP check register and detail voucher detail report. Both dated July 18, 2025. Checks were reprinted and distributed to each claimant listed on Friday, July 18th of this glorious year.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Should I do one more?
One more, yeah.
I move to retroactively approve the payment of claim in the amount of $613,192.34 listed on the summary AP check register, and detail voucher detail report, both dated July 25th, 2025. Checks were printed and distributed to each claimant listed on Friday, July 25th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead, Jen.
I move to retroactively approve the payment of claims in the amount of $378,647.26 listed on the summary AP check register and detailed voucher detail report, both dated August 1st, 2025. Checks were printed and distributed to each claimant listed on Friday, August 1st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the change in start date for the following individuals who served as 2025 camp staff directors, assistant directors, and thereby authorize the retroactive payment from March 31st, 2025 to June 30th, 2025. See below.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Okay, we
move
have,
to approve the letter of agreement for an independent contractor business plan development for Chappaqua Performing Arts Center between the town of Newcastle and Rachel Zemansky for a term commencing September 1st, 2025 through October 31st, 2025 for a fixed fee of $10,000 payable upon deliverables.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Welcome, Rachel.
Yay, welcome.
I move to adopt the following resolution. Be it resolved that the resolution dated July 22nd, 2025, terminating the probationary period of employee 3172 effective July 31st, 2025 is hereby amended to read as follows. Pursuant to New York Civil Service Law and the Westchester County Department of Human Resources, upon recommendation of the Chief of Police, the probationary period of employee 3172 is hereby terminated effective August 22nd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the appointment of Sally Foster as a member of the LGBTQ+ committee for a term of 2 years effective August 13, 2025 through August 31st, 2027.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, welcome Sally Foster. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are now adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.